Ok, esto está vamos a primero ver el video. Ok, esto está en el de inglés. So, Funding
Ok,
Academy, Credit Mastery, Late Removal Part 1.
There we go. Nice.
Este es un amigo. Él,
Okay, so I
él
just
tiene su
made you.
compañía de arreglar crédito.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
ok.
All right, guys. So I'm very fired up. So who here has just out of curiosity, who here has a
Ese es el primer video, ¿verdad?
credit score
Ajá.
or around a 740 credit score in that area? Any of you guys? Some of you guys? All you guys? We see Miguel,
Pues en el grupo
Carlos,
de inglés hay
Carlos
bastante
does,
gente.
and Dennis. You or
Ah,
you working on
En el grupo de inglés hay
the
bastante
scores?
gente.
Looks like
siempre hay
Dennis about to say
gente que
something.
entra
No,
o sale.
maybe. Okay. Well, guys, your credit's extremely important. Nobody has ever to me in my upbringing, credit is extremely important. And I'll give you the perfect example as to why credit's important right here, right now. Arturo is working with me on the funding side, and we're trying our best to get me some loans and some lines. So I want to do a huge shout out to Arturo real quick. So he got me approved for two term loans of a lot of money. One's going to be $80,000, another $75,000. He's in the process of getting me approved for a third term loan of $150,000, which is also insane. But the big thing here is he actually got me approved for a line of credit. Now, it's very, very, very important to understand how powerful that line of credit can be. If I'm to acquire that line of credit, and it is a $100,000 line of credit that Arturo has me approved for, if I'm able to get approved for that, I can go out and I can fund the rehabs on all of my real estate deals with no problem. I don't have to do a fix and flip loan. I don't have to pay lenders a bunch of extra points. I can just do a straight hard money loan or a cash transaction with a partner. I can use my line of credit to fund my rehab. I can refinance and pay that line of credit back. So just in case any of you guys don't know or is watching this on the replay, credit's probably the most important factor when it comes to seeing success in the business world. And I feel as though people don't understand that because they believe that credit is cheating because it's not your money or you're in debt. That's not true whatsoever. So today what I'm going to be teaching you is a technique on how to remove a late payment from your credit report. Now, Arturo touched on this earlier. When you have, well, I just spilled my face. When you have a late payment on your credit report, I'm going to just do a little correction. Like it actually can drop you 100 to 123 points, right? So we obviously have our done for you credit repair service. And as of recently, it's funny, I was about to go sign for those loans, and my roommate, he had an account that he forgot to pay for a couch that we owed. It's very funny because I started my credit journey very late. I got my first card when I was 22, and I got my first debit card when I was 18 years old, just simply because I wasn't raised correctly. So again, the big thing to understand is I started my credit journey a little later in life, and my roommate put me on a loan for a couch, and he said, "I'm going to help you to build your credit." And I said, "Thank you so much." Turns out my old roommate, I don't live with him anymore. He's an amazing human being. He missed the payment. And that actually brought my score down 100 points, 103 actually. So now I can't sign for the term loans and my line of credit that Arturo so graciously got me until my late payments removed. But no matter, I'm an expert in this field. So I went through the process. I'm going to share my screen and teach you all how to remove late payments. So just a huge disclaimer to what we're doing here. Neither Arturo nor myself is providing you legal advice. We're not prescribing you to do anything. We're just teaching you what happens when a late payment is wrongfully reported on your account. Okay? We're not telling we're just showing strategies that can help you to get forward in life as opposed to suffering and being a victim of sorts. So, unlawful late payment, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to understand the process. The process is you're going to file a report with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, otherwise known as the CFPB. Okay. So, it's very, very, very important that you understand where we're going, right? So, we're going to be right here. But before that, you need to understand how to read a credit report. Okay. And I think this is a super important skill that people are not taught in school. So we're just going to go over how to read a credit report real quick. If you want to get a copy of a full credit report in an easy to understand factor, right? You can go to IQ.com. I know yesterday when I was talking with Arturo, he talked about how he used to have one of these. Super amazing platform. Okay. So the first thing you're going to see is all your accounts, right? You're going to see all your accounts. You're going to see your personal information at the very top. And at the very bottom, you're going to see your hard inquiries. But we're going to focus on this late payment right here, right? So this is the late payment on the account I had, furniture company. And it's very important to understand how to read this, right? So this is the debt, okay? The debt or the debt that was owed because it's fully paid off. This is the debt right here, TDRC// Ash Hill, right? And it's very important to see the three personal credit bureaus, which are TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. Now, what we're seeing here is a very common example that is with many debts, right? Is that they're not reported to all three bureaus. Some may be, some may not be. But in this case, they're only reported to TransUnion and Experian. So you have your three credit bureaus right here. And of course, the credit bureaus that are reporting the debt. Down here, we have the late payments and the on-time payments made for the debt. So apparently, the debt was coming out on the 23rd of each month, right? Again, what we can even do here is we can even find more inaccuracies, which we'll get to in a minute here. But then you can see there's TransUnion and what reported on TransUnion, and what reported on Experian, and then there's Equifax. Now, guys, the key to disputing a late payment is to find inaccuracies within the credit. Just feel free to interrupt at any time if you feel there's something that I need to clarify, I need to answer, I need to be more specific on something. Like I implore it. Don't think you're being rude or interrupting. But guys, the number one thing you want to do in disputing a late payment is you want to find inaccuracies within the credit report. So like I said, let's kind of go over how to read a credit, okay? So right here is going to be the account number. Now, I don't want to say all the time because it's not all the time, but usually the account number is going to be the same between bureaus, but there will be other situations where these account numbers differ from bureau to bureau. That's not particularly inaccurate information, but we can use it to our advantage, right? It talks about the account type, and this is just a revolving line of credit just to pay off a very simple, $3,000 couch. A bunch of stuff right here, like bureau code, account status, monthly payment. And you can see right here, my account's paid. We paid it, right? Our monthly payment is $0. We pay this debt. We're not criminals. We're not scum. We did this. Now, again, the way you're going to leverage these late payments is you're going to look for inaccuracies within the report. So right here, okay, the date of TransUnion says that the date opened was 12/17/2021, whereas on Experian, it says the date open was 12/1/2021. So this is an inaccuracy between the reports. So you're an automatic. I just used very easy. The debt was again there, the credit limit, all that stuff. The payment status is always current, as you can see. Again, just proving the fact that we paid the debt off. But again, what we got right here is we have other inaccuracies, right? On TransUnion, there's a comment that says canceled by credit grantor. That's not true. We paid it off. Another one says account has been closed due to an activity. That's not true. We paid the account off. The debt is 100% paid. As you can see right here. From there, that's an inaccuracy, so you circle it. Date last active, it's saying that it was last active 4/18/2024. But over here, it's saying that on Experian that the date last active was 4/1/2024. So these are all inaccuracies, guys. So you can quite literally circle these inaccuracies and point them out to the bureau, which we'll talk about in a second. Now down here, I do want to point out where the point of the credit report is to circle all inaccuracies. So I am doing a little square around the late payment that as an inaccuracy. However, your case stronger if these are reported. So TransUnion was the same, but on Experian, the orange dot reported a couple blocks over. That would be a huge, huge, huge sign of inaccurate reporting, and that the taking whole late payment situation is inaccurate, so we need to take it off. The fact that the bureau's job is to report accurate information to the reports, okay? And as you can see, there's a ton of inaccurate information on my credit report. So it is their job to fix it, right? Therefore, so once you went through your sheet and accuracies, then file your consumer financial complaint. Okay, I do want to show you a little something. This is an email I just got this morning. Okay, and this is an email from Experian. Okay, and it's saying that my dispute's been updated. So they're actually already taking care of my dispute. And today's April 10th. And the day they acknowledged my dispute on Experian was actually April 7th. So they're actually taking care of this right now. I'll actually show you. So you can see at 12:47, 19 hours ago, they sent me and they said, we're taking care of this right now. Or at least they're reviewing it. You know, they can come back and say it's accurate, but I don't particularly think they will, provided we can only pray. Luckily, we said a prayer at the beginning of the call. So we're going to come over here to this link right here, consumer complaint, or you can just Google CFPB. It'll come right up. Super easy, super simple. You're just going to scroll down. You're going to see a little blue square that says start new complaint. I'm going to walk you guys through right now how to actually create a complaint within, the CFPB to help delete a late payment. So again, if you didn't make an account, you would make an account. I've already created an account, so I'm just going to click that. And it's already auto-filled, so we'll just go right in. And something that's really cool, and it's cool because me and Arturo got to do a dry run of this yesterday. So now I can actually show you guys this, which is super cool, because I've already, done this yesterday, so I know how to make this presentation better. So you've got your complaint ID over here on the CFPB website, and it's crazy because we've got my name, the improper use of my credit report, which we'll get to in a second. We did one report to TransUnion and one to Experian. And as you can see, I did them both on the same night on the 4th. You want to file separate complaints for each bureau to ensure 100% accuracy. You can see with TransUnion response. This sort of steps of complaint. That's pretty cool. These are impressed. It normally takes anywhere from 21 to 30 days to remove a late payment. And before we even continue with this, I do want to touch on late payments. Late payments are by far the hardest payments to remove out of anything derogatory on your credit report. I'll show you something. I've never been late in my life. It's maybe to understand that these.
No sé por qué se está trabando. Okay.
Tiene que ser, me imagino, la señal.
Sí, ok, pero esa es la cosa. CFPB.com. Ese es Customer Financial Protection Bureau.
Ok.
Ok,
¿Le puedo coger una foto, no? Para el nombre.
sí, cógele, espérame. CFPB.gov.
Ok.
Ok, ahora vamos al segundo video.
Let me see. What type of credit reporting product? Let me see. Oh, no, it stopped. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. There we go. Perfect. So, first and foremost, they're going to ask what the complaint is about. What you're going to do is you're going to go down to credit reporting or other personal consumer reports, right? Because this is about a credit report. Now, this is something cool we went over yesterday, right? Oh, we're going to go down and say what type of credit reporting product. It's going to be a credit reporting, right? Super easy and simple. Credit reporting and then credit reporting. Next. Now, this is where we're going to use something very, very powerful here. Okay. And touch on this because Arturo was talking about it yesterday. So we're going to click improper use of your report. And yesterday, Arturo asked like a phenomenal question. And he said, Dre, why wouldn't we do incorrect information on your credit report, right? Like personal information, incorrect information that's not yours. If you click that, right, it's just going to pull up a bunch of stuff about, identity theft, which we're not going to really get into, information that's missing, incorrect information, on like a loan balance or a payment amount. It's not very serious, right? It's going to improper use report. It's going to raise much more of a red flag. And they're going to say, whoa, this company is taking advantage of this consumer. We need to stop this, right? This is not good. They're improperly using and taking advantage of this person. From there, what best describes our problem? Reporting companies are reporting improperly, and they are. Their late payment that shouldn't be there. That is improper use of my report. Absolutely unacceptable. So coming down to here, when they ask, have you already tried to fix this problem with the company? You would click yes. Do you request information from the company? They would yes. They're going to ask which the company is going to go, try to verify. They can't find, they'll call you a liar. We don't want you to be called a liar. We want to get the late payment off. We're going to go next. From there, okay, happen. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste a template in that I actually created here. Okay, and I need you guys to understand. A lot of you guys, what you're going to do is you're not going to listen to me and screwing yourselves in the end. So I just want you all to pause, take a deep breath, in and out. Okay, and I want you. Okay, just for work. You have to add your own twists to it. If you do not.
Él aquí está diciendo, cuando tú copias esto, tienes que ponerle tu propio twist. Okay.
Ok.
Puede ser lo mismo.
Your own twists to it.
Eso es como en el cuadro donde se escribió, más o menos. ¿Ahí qué dice?
Claro, en el cuadro que escribió, ajá. Ahí te pregunta,
Okay,
¿qué es lo que
o
pasa?
sea, uno no puede copiar y escribir eso mismo.
No, lo puedes copiar, tienes que poner tu número de cuenta, pero de ahí le dices,
Ok,
mira, lo pones en ChatGPT y le dices, hey, hazlo, cámbialo, que le haga un rewording.
ok, perfecto.
Flag you, right? Or seriously, you have to put a personal, emotional twist on it. What I'm going to do now, okay, and I'm going to point out the stuff I made, okay, in this. So I said, on an accuracy of late payments on an account which I've always maintained timely payments. Consumer reporting agencies play a crucial role in the quality of my daily life. Something I add, right? This inaccuracy has caused my credit score to go down 100 plus points. It's true. It's what I added that in. I'm actually going to zoom in here. I'm extremely emotionally distressed. Most you're going to do is you're going to list the account right here. That would be the same. You would just copy and paste this right here. And then you would come in down here and you would put the number, right? So you would just take the number from over here, as you can see. So if we're doing it on Experian, we would do the Experian number. If we're doing it on TransUnion, we would do the TransUnion number. A lot of the times, it's going to be the same number, but just make sure just in case. Then you would say, I request a payment or a thorough investigation into these discrepant and urge you to provide evidence such as statements demonstrating the lateness of these payments. But to prove, I demand these payments promptly be updated to reflect the truths on time as consistently upheld payment obligations without delay. And then I said, I've fully paid off this account and have never missed a payment. I sound like a very legal, and then we went into like a human being. Then please fix the inaccuracies for the law, and this is the law we're gonna 1681E. And again, all this code states is need accuracy.
Esa es la ley que se tiene que postear. Ok, 15 US Code.
Of
Ok, esa es
168 primero.
1681E. Ajá. Esa ley dice que hay cosas inadecuadas, incurrentes en el crédito.
Ok. Eso hay que asegurarse de que eso salga, ¿verdad?
There's false information on your credit report. The companies are required to remove the false information. So you need to leverage the law. This inaccuracy, and you can tell I definitely added this, this inaccuracy is ruining my life. Please help me. Please remove all late payments from my account and update my credit report immediately. They're going to ask, do you want the CFPB to publish this description? No, no one needs to see your stuff, guys. And what would be a fair resolution to this issue? I'm going to show you how simple this is. You would say, remove the late payments from my account, the late payment from my account, and update my credit report. Super easy stuff, guys. And then what you would do is you would attach a file. Okay. All you would do, right, is you would just take this,
Pero una pregunta,
you would
Arturo.
just
Dime.
write it.
¿Eso hay que hacerlo uno por uno o uno hace uno y ya sirve para todos los buró de
No,
crédito?
uno por uno.
Ok.
Simple drag and drop situation. Okay. Then you're going to press next. Okay. That is the complaint about there. That really doesn't matter, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to choose the company we report this to. So we wanted to do Experian, right? Experian Credit Reporting, okay? Or you could do Experian Credit Reporting Agency. I just did Experian Credit Reporting, just like the same thing on TransUnion, right? Want to go down to not TransUnion Fraud, not Consumer Solutions, but TransUnion Credit Reporting Agency, right? Click this one. So we need this information, right? Super easy and simple. You can click all of this right there, okay? You can put in your social security number, the last digits, right? I'll just do it because yesterday we found that it blocks out. You know, birthday, I'll do it. 06. Okay. And the name as it appears on the credit report, right? So this is actually extremely important. So I'm drawing a blank of which one, but one of my TransUnion is one of these first name or my first name, my middle initial. I don't remember which one it is. It's just my TransUnion is different than my Experian, right? So what you would do is you would scroll up to your Identity IQ and just how there's TransUnion, Experian, Equifax. If you're reporting the late payment on the CFPB to Experian, you copy in your name exactly how it is on Experian. I believe it's just my first and last name. And you want to complain about another company. Now, remember we talked about this at the beginning of the video. And the answer is no. Okay. What a lot of people will do is they'll click yes, and they'll do a complaint for TransUnion and Experian all rolled into one. You don't want to do that. You want to do separate reports for each company. So we're going to press no, right? Now, I'm not going to press next because Arturo and I found out yesterday that when you press next, all of my personal information, my address, everything is loaded up. So all the next page is going to be is your address, which we don't really want to show my stuff here. And then from there, it's just going to be a confirmation of all the information that you've submitted. Okay. And then you're going to submit it if you'd so like to. And once again, the really cool thing about this is I'm going to go to the new complaint. Once you've submitted your complaints, as soon as you log to the CFPB, you can actually see the status right here. So again, we submitted both of these complaints on the 4th. We got a response back from TransUnion on the 5th. We got a response back from an open response back from Experian on the 7th, and then we got confirmation from Experian on the 10th right here. So that's really, really good news. I really hope this late payment comes off. If it doesn't and I get denied, which I don't think it should, but if it doesn't, I'll delete the account. You don't want to delete an account as a first resort, because when you delete the account, not only does it delete your late payment, but it also deletes all your positive history, all these green payments that help your credit history. So if you can remove the late payment, that's always your first resort. But like Arturo said, there is nothing worse than a late payment. So it's better to remove the entire account, even if it drops your score momentarily. What I'll say is a lot of guys in the funding space, because I'm close with a lot of them, along with Arturo, no one can fund you a late payment. It's just the way it is, sadly enough. So it's not something that we want on the credit report. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, I'll actually leave this up, just in case you need something to jog your memory. But I'm more than open to answering any questions, or even turning the call to Arturo over completely if there are no questions to be had.
Yeah, do you have any questions?
What document are you uploading?
What I mean, which document are we uploading? We're gonna upload what is written, what we have to write in there. So there's a certain format that you have to write in order to try to get them out. Now, like Andrea said, late is the hardest thing to remove. Okay, when you have late, you have two options. You can either delete the account, which is horrible for you, because you can have a 10-year-old credit card, 15-year-old credit card, and then if you delete the account, your whole history is gone. So nobody knows who you are. The late will stay there for a long time. That way, it's very important to have business credit cards. Why? Because business credit cards do not report on your personal. Okay, business credit cards do not report on your personal credit. So I always tell, everybody, you guys, hey, yes, it's cool to have $40, $50, $80,000 on your personal, but you want to maximize it on your business. Why? Because you can have a max credit card on your business account, and then you can go ahead and get another business and then get the same credit card. Okay, it will never show up on your personal unless you default. Okay, so what do I mean by this? I'll give you an example. So let's say you have $80,000 on your personal. On your business, your first business, you go ahead and you open Platinum American Express. Okay, you open a Platinum American Express, you max it out, 30 grand, 50 grand, whatever they gave you. Now you can't pay it back. Well, guess what? You can still open another American Express credit card on another business. Okay, you can do that. Now they are maxed out, but they're maxed out on the business side. They are not maxed out on your personal side. You see what I'm saying? So you can have credit cards maxed out on your business side and you will never jeopardize your personal. Okay, there are over 4,000 banks. So as long as your personal is clean, you can utilize any credit cards on your business and max them out. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? You have any questions?
Yeah.
Did that answer your question? Hold on, Alvin. Did that answer your question, Charm? Somewhat. Do you still have any questions, concerns? I cannot hear you. You're on mute.
When he was going through the document and he went to that upload button, I wasn't sure what document was being uploaded.
Okay, he was uploading and showing the inaccuracies in your credit. So he has Identity IQ.
So he was getting it from Identity IQ.
Correct. You don't have to get you don't have to get on Identity IQ, but if you have, let's say, it says on Experian, it says, hey, you were late on the 15th, and in Equifax, it says, hey, you were late on the 20th. Okay, what are you gonna do? Tell them, hey, who's wrong, who's right? You don't know, so you're just pointing it out. Hey, this is what my credit score is saying. Okay, so you want to make it, you want to give out the points that are really the real inaccuracies. Okay, like I said, late payments are the hardest thing to get out. Okay, they really are. I have a few on my home equity line of credit. Okay, and I try to refinance my house, and guess what? I can't refinance out of it. Why? Because I have a late on my HELOC. You know, so they said you have to wait 2 years. Well, it's already been a year. Okay, so hey, you gotta wait 2 years. Okay, in order for me to refi. So just be very, very mindful and very careful of that. Okay, late, you don't want to be late. You don't want to be late. You have a question, Elvin? Charm, did I answer your question? Elvin, you have a question?
Ah, no, lo que me iba yo a preguntar ahorita era sobre lo que estaba hablando de la tarjeta de crédito para compañía. Entonces yo te iba a preguntar si teniendo un ejemplo, una tarjeta de crédito, un ejemplo con mi compañía de limpieza, y yo mañana pongo una compañía de, qué sé yo, vamos a decir, de cocina, pero yo tengo la misma tarjeta, un ejemplo, con American Express, y yo quiero transferirla de una a la otra, ¿no se puede si es diferente compañía o sí?
Sí puedes.
¿Sí puede?
Sí.
Ok.
Yeah,
Ok.
they're both under your name. So you can, he asked if you can transfer from one account to the other if they're different companies. They have different companies with the same credit card. Yes, you can. Okay.
All right.
It does depend a lot on the bank. For American Express, you can. For Navy Federal, you can. So you can do for American Express, for Navy Federal. Other banks have different policies. Any other questions? Rahul, you have a question?
How are you guys? Sorry, I just got connected to a few minutes ago. Yeah, couldn't connect with you guys. So I checked something like it was something about making a business, right? That I just have to have in mind that I cannot go any day. So I didn't reach that point yet for myself. But yeah, man.
Yeah, it's not hard. For those of you who are starting, guys, move money in and out. They wanna see movement in and out. Okay. Like I told Rahul the other day, you wanna be able to have money from one bank to all they wanna see transactions. That's it. So you have somebody that you trust, you can move money in and out.
Yeah.
Okay. In order to get approved for those high-end credit cards, you want to have at least 3 credit cards of 3,500 or more, at least. Okay, personal. So you have to work towards that. Okay, you have to work towards that. Increasing your limit. Okay, how do you increase your limit? You use to pay it off, use to pay it off, use to pay it off. Keep increasing the limit. Okay.
Sure.
I can't hear you.
Can I update with you goals this week?
I can't hear you.
Now, can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. What was your question?
Yeah, man. Like, can I update you with the goals I did the past week?
Of course. Let's hear it.
Yeah, man. Sorry, I'm right now in San Diego, and for my studies, and you guys can see from here, Mexico. I'm now at the border, like the border. So I just got McDonald's and I got connected to you guys.
Oh, wow. Okay. And you're doing what? What are you doing in Cali?
Yeah. My daughter baptism is going to be here. So that's travel from Indy to here, man.
Well, congratulations, man.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Good. For sure. Are you with your wife?
Yeah, my wife, her brother, and the baby.
Nice. Okay.
No,
Okay.
I could San Diego's Marine from here, man.
Okay. Good.
Guys, so basically, this past week I opened two secure credit cards of 2,500 each on the Old National Bank, which is a national bank, and BMO, which is a national bank too.
People's Bank. Good. Okay, good. Remember, Rahul, do you have the account with Bank of America?
Say that again, please.
Do you have an account with Bank of America?
Yes, I have it.
Okay. So make sure, and this is for everybody, make sure you guys make Bank of America your primary bank. What does that mean? Any money that comes in, make sure it goes to Bank of America. Have transactions from Bank of America. Okay, do that, boom, build it, and in a matter of 2 months, 3 months, they're gonna offer you a credit card. Okay, because right now they're in need of business. So if you have an account, your main account, look, always your main account has to be one bank. Let's say it's Bank of America. You got all your money coming in from different people. All the money comes in, boom, you get a credit card. Then you do the same thing with another bank. All the money comes in, let's say Chase. Money comes in, boom, now you get another credit card. And you do the same thing with another bank. All the money comes in, now you get another credit card. Okay, so you guys need credit cards that are high limit. So 2,500 is good. Once they give you your money back after a little while, hey, we'll ask for an increase. You know, so there's a long-term play. Okay, so what I recommend, Bank of America and American Express. Okay, that's what I recommend. Why? American Express is considered premium card. Bank of America is the most well-known national bank. Okay, so when you have those two on your personal, everybody wants to get on their level. So you're more than likely to get approved for other cards. So remember, you can open an account with American Express. Okay.
I call American Express myself, and I asked if I can open a checking account, and they told me that I cannot. First, I have to be accepted into a credit card first.
Say it again.
In order to open a simple checking account in Bank of American Express, I credit card with them first.
Okay, but aren't you on my authorized user or no?
Say that again, man.
Are you on my authorized user? You're not. You're not. Okay. 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 Well, call them and ask them. Okay, if I'm an authorized user, can I open my own account? Okay. Just
wow.
ask them that. Just ask them that whenever you talk to them. Okay.
I will call them tomorrow. Hopefully.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, man, I have 4 secure credit cards myself. Next week, once I come back, I will open a secure credit 2,500 in Bank of America. So I will have 5.
Okay, good. With Bank of America, you want to make that your primary bank. Okay, so just make it your primary bank. What does that mean? Every money that comes in and out, boom, just one account, until they offer you a credit card. Once they offer you a credit card, okay, now we move to another bank. Okay, you make it your primary. So you just wanna play the game until you bring those up. Okay.
Okay, man. Okay, and I waiting still for my driving license. It will will be sent by maybe next month, somewhere about next month. And from then on, man, I need to be scorable on the FICO. I have to wait to get over 700 in order to buy a car, and they offer me a low interest.
Good. Okay, that's easy to do. We'll get on a phone next week. Okay, it's easy to do. You can do it with your rent, like we talked about. You can do it with getting out as an authorized user. You can do it with your electric bill, with your phone bill. There's many ways you can do it. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Guys, Frahur, he just got to the country. Okay, he's literally Frahur. When did you get your Social Security? How long ago?
Less than 2 months ago.
Less than what?
2 months. 2 months ago.
So he's less than 2 months ago, and he already getting credit cards. Where's your credit at? Have you seen your credit?
It's not discoverable yet, man.
Okay, you gotta make sure you tell these banks, hey, to report. Okay, if they don't report, you can go ahead and go through the credit bureau and tell the creditor, hey, I got credit cards. Why are you guys not reporting my credit cards? Okay, so you can do it through the credit bureau as well. Okay, say, hey, I have this social, and make sure you're doing it with your social. Okay, hey, I have my social and I have these credit cards. Why am I not getting reported on? Okay.
Okay,
So
bro.
you can do it either through the bank. You can call each bank and say, hey, I'm not showing that you are reporting the credit card. So you got to ask them, hey, I'm not sure you are reporting my credit card, and then you can go through Experian Aquafina TransUnion and say the same thing. Hey, I got credit card. Why are you guys not reporting it? And they're gonna say, oh, send proof. So then you send them your stuff. Okay, so you can start getting that score quick. So by the time that you get your license, you can have a good score. Okay.
All right. Then with score, I will get a really low interest in a new SUV.
Good.
So that will be the way, man. So I have to call American Express for an authorized user, and then will wait a couple of weeks. Otherwise, I will call the bureaus, right?
Yeah.
Okay, man. So that's it, right?
Yep. That's it. That's it for you.
Gotcha, man. Perfect. Thank you.
For sure. Guys, any other questions today? Since there's a few of you, you guys feel free to ask me any questions. Farm, Elvin, preguntas.
Yo te iba a preguntar si podemos hacer, yo quiero hacer lo que estaban viendo los videos hoy para eliminar lo del crédito, los highs, no me acuerdo cómo te dijiste, se llama, para eliminar eso. Yo lo quiero intentar ver, hacer si lo puedo hacer el lunes, que voy a estar libre, Dios mediante. Lo que te quería preguntar, si cualquier duda cuando lo esté haciendo te podía llamar.
Sí, yo voy a voy a hacer un copy paste de lo que se escribió y lo voy a subir. Ok, para que lo
Ok.
tengan ahí y le hagan ustedes solo copy paste, lo pongan en ChatGPT y le digan que, hey, reword it. Ok.
Ok, otra pregunta te quería hacer. Yo estoy buscando acá, creo que ya lo encontré. El email que me mandaron con los videos, porque no me está saliendo, no lo encuentro. No, este no es tampoco. A ver si me lo podían reenviar o llamo, el mismo lunes llamo para que ahí mismo si me lo pueden enviar para abrirlo al instante una vez.
¿Qué videos?
Los videos los videos que tú pones para que uno vea.
Ok. ¿Qué tienes? ¿No los puedes ver o qué pasó?
Que no lo encuentro, el acceso no lo encuentro para yo entrar. O sea,
Okay. Yeah, we can take care of that. Just let me know when and I'll tell Christine to help you out on it.
all right, perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll let you know Monday. Monday I'm off. I want to do it everything Monday.
Okay. So yeah, you shoot us a text on Monday, or shoot her a text on Monday. Say, hey, I don't have access to these videos. How can I get access to it?
All right, perfect.
Okay, guys. Well, no other questions. We're gonna call it a day. Okay, I am doing a lot of paperwork. My partner just acquired 15 acres down in Tampa by the water. Okay, got a really, really good deal. Not only he got a really good deal, there are ways that you guys can take advantage of situations like this. I'll tell you how he got it. The guy was getting foreclosed on. If you guys know anybody that's getting foreclosed on, okay, you guys can let me know and we'll do a partnership. We'll go in there and buy it. Okay, and we can do a partnership now. You can come up $2-3 million just by knowing somebody that's getting foreclosed on. Okay, so my guy, I'm gonna tell you how simple it is. So if somebody's getting foreclosed on, that means what? They don't have any money, right? And that means somebody is saying, hey, you couldn't pay me, I'm taking this from you. Is that correct? Okay. So this person that was getting foreclosed on said, hey man, look, I got 15 acres in the water. I can't pay the taxes and I owe 500,000 and I can't pay, I don't have a job. So my friend, Mr. Sean, what did he do? He owns a ministry. What did he do? He said, okay, sign the deed over to me. Sign the deed over to him. And then the Sean went ahead and he did paperwork to stop the foreclosure. Okay, well, guess what? The property is worth about $15-20 million. It was getting foreclosed for $500,000. Okay, so the Sean, he said, hey, he went in there, he put a lien of $3 million. Okay, why? Because he has a lot of assets underneath his ministry. So he put a lien of $3 million in the asset. Therefore, the bank is owed $500K and he's owed $3 million. Well, guess what? They got two options. Either goes for sale and they both get paid. Okay, so my guy came up $3 million. Or my guy that's owed, that has a lien of $3 million, he just goes ahead and pays the $500,000 and he keeps the $50 million property. Okay, so knowledge is very, very important. I'm gonna see if I can bring him in. I'm still working on some things with him. Tomorrow we have a meeting with a yacht company down in Fort Lauderdale. Okay, because they want to put all their yachts over there. Okay, so they want to do a partnership. So we're gonna go over there and talk to them. Guys, this guy came from nothing. Okay, he's been in jail, he's been in prison, you know, but he learned law. When he was in jail, he learned law. Okay, and now he's able to take advantage of things like this. You know, if somebody owes you money or you owe them money, hey, he helped to do the paperwork and he's able to, hey, stop it and then take advantage of opportunities like that. Okay, he's self-taught. He is self-taught, and right now he's on an acquisition spree. Okay, he's getting a lot of property for very, very cheap. When I say very cheap, I'm talking about he's not paying an attorney. He's doing all the documents himself. Right now, we're doing we're doing a lien for a guy that owes me $100,000, a little over $100,000. Okay, so we're doing a lien. We did the because you do have to follow the law, so you have to send, hey, first you gotta give him 30 days. Then if he defaulted after 30 days, that means he didn't answer. Then you gotta give him 3 days. After 3 days, then you gotta give him another 3 days. You have to show good faith. Okay, saying, hey, we're looking to resolve this issue. Now, if you don't want to answer, now we put a lien on your assets, then we call the sheriff and we take it. You see what I'm saying? So I'll bring him on. I'll bring him on in a few weeks or so. Okay, right now he's in Orlando with his kids and his wife in the parks. He's there for 2 weeks. He's at a resort for 2 weeks. But he's very, very knowledgeable. He's so knowledgeable. He's so smart that when he talks to regular people, they think he's crazy. Have you ever seen those people that they just talk and they're like, oh, they talk about law and all that? People think he's actually insane. Okay, what they don't know is that even though he sounds insane because he sounds very foreign to a lot of people, he's been able to back it, as in he has $23 million in assets right now. Okay, so yeah, he might sound crazy, and you'll be like, when I first started, it took me I'm not concerned he's pretty smart. Okay, it took me a while to understand what he's saying, and then I'm like, okay, let's do it for me because I got a few people that owe me money. So we started doing it, and now he's like, now I'm learning the type of law that he understands, that he knows, and everything that he says is backed up by law. So I'll give you an example. Many people go and talk to a judge. Okay, usually the judge can do a ruling, but then who has to sign? Who makes that ruling legal? The clerk. So what does that mean? That means that the clerk has more power than the judge. You know why? Because the judge can say, hey, he's doing 20 years, but if the clerk does not sign it, then it's up in the air. Okay, so I'll bring him on for you guys to for you guys to ask him questions. Okay, we are working deal. He does have a lot of money on assets, and I want you guys to meet him. You can learn from him. Okay. Very, very nice. Like I said, if you guys know anybody that has foreclosures or that owes people money, we can help them out. He got his ministry to help them out. Okay. Anyways, so any questions? Elvin, Charm, Rahul, any questions?
No, pero no sé si mañana, para no quitarte mucho tiempo, si mañana te puedes llamar para hablar un poquito de esto, porque hubieron algunas cosas que no entendí.
Ya, sí, perfecto. Me
¿Hay un
escribes.
chance que te tenga libre?
Me
Ok,
escribes y te meto en el schedule.
perfecto.
Ok, dale.
Bueno,
Right,
buenas
guys.
noches.
See you guys next week. Elvin, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, perfect. Thank
Have a
you.
good night. Bye-bye.